So I grew up in Limpopo, on the border of Limpopo and Mpumalanga, little town called Mutetema. Water and electricity supply are as unpredictable as the weather. And at the age of 17, I was relaxing with a couple of friends of mine in winter. So as we were sunbathing, my best friend next to me says, "Man, why doesn't somebody invent something that you can just put on your skin and then you don't have to bath?" And I sat and I was like, "Man, I would buy that, eh?" So I went home and I did a little research, and I found some very shocking statistics. Over 2.5 billion people in the world today do not have proper access to water and sanitation. 450 million of them are in Africa, and 5 million of them are in South Africa. Various diseases thrive in this environment, the most drastic of which is called trachoma. Trachoma is an infection of the eye due to dirt getting into your eye. Multiple infections of trachoma can leave you permanently blind. The disease leaves 8 million people permanently blind each and every year. The shocking part about it is that to avoid being infected with trachoma, all you have to do is wash your face. No medicine, no pills, no injections. So, with my trusty little steed, my Nokia 6234 cell phone, I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have internet much, except for the 20 Rand an hour internet cafe. I did research on Wikipedia, on Google about lotions, creams, the compositions, the melting points, the toxicities. I did high school science. And I wrote down a little formula on a piece of paper. Now we need to get this thing into practice. Fast forward 4 years later, after having written a 40-page business plan on the cell phone, having written my patent on the cell phone, I'm the youngest patent holder in the country, I had invented Dry Bath, the world's first bath substituting lotion. You literally put it on your skin and you don't have to bath. So after having tried to make it work in high school with the limited resources I had, went to university, met a few people, got it into practice, and we have a fully functioning product that's ready to go to the market. It's actually available on the market. So we learned a few lessons in commercializing and making Dry Bath available. One of the things we learned was that poor communities don't buy products in bulk. They buy products on demand. A person in Alex doesn't buy a box of cigarettes, they buy one cigarette each day, even though it's more expensive. So we package Dry Bath in these innovative little sachets. You just snap them in half and you squeeze it out. And the cool part is, one sachet substitutes one bath for 5 Rand. After creating that model, we also learned a lot in terms of implementing the product. We realized that even rich kids from the suburbs really want Dry Bath, at least once a week. Anyway, we realized that we could save 80 million liters of water on average each time they skipped a bath, and also we would save 2 hours a day for kids who are in rural areas. After seeing that global impact, we narrowed it down to our key value proposition, which was cleanliness and convenience. Dry Bath is a rich man's convenience and a poor man's lifesaver. After having put the product into practice, we're actually now on the verge of selling the product onto a multinational to take it to the retail market. And one question I have for the audience today is, on the gravel roads of Limpopo, with an allowance of 50 Rand a week, I came up with a way for the world not to bath. What's stopping you?
The world is experiencing a technological revolution that is changing the way we think, live, and work. The scope, scale, and complexity of this change will be unlike anything humankind has experienced before. the world is in the grips of the fourth industrial revolution, or what is called Industry 4.0, and job seekers simply must understand what skills this new age demands. The first three industrial revolutions not only changed industry, they changed humankind, and the fourth will do the same. These revolutions were driven by technology, the invention of steam-driven machines in the first, the invention and use of electricity in the second, and then computers and ICT in the third industrial revolution or digital age. Now, the fourth industrial revolution is driven by advanced technology and is characterized by machines that daily grow closer to being able to think for themselves, learn, and develop a form of artificial intelligence. The digital age has now combined with biology and biochemistry, which enables industry to create and replicate objects and even genetic materials through 3D printers. Advanced technologies and materials are helping us solve some of the world's greatest problems and operate in ways previously unimagined. Automated or programmed machines work together to manufacture small and large, simple and complex products at speed with great accuracy. Cloud computing allows instant access to global information and breaks any sort of boundary that previously separated buyers and sellers or groups of people, whether by ethnicity, language, location, or education. Today, computers enable us to analyze vast volumes of data or big data to solve problems in a millisecond. This kind of revolution means that the world is developing faster than ever, and we, its inhabitants, need to adapt. The fourth industrial revolution is happening now across the globe, and Africa is included. These sweeping technological changes have specific consequences for those of us living in Southern Africa. According to the World Economic Forum, with more than 60% of its population under the age of 25, Sub-Saharan Africa is the world's youngest region. By 2030, the continent's working age population is set to increase from 370 million adults in 2010 to over 600 million in 2030. That's more than a 66% increase. 15 to 20 million increasingly well-educated young people are expected to join the African workforce every year for the next 3 decades. This means that successful work seekers simply must have skills to match available jobs. So what do these skills and jobs look like? The World Economic Forum suggests that in South Africa alone, 39% of core skills required across occupations today will be entirely different by 2020. Many jobs in the region are becoming more intense in their use of digital technologies. The ICT or information, communications and technology intensity of jobs in South Africa increased by 26% over the last decade. Currently trending professions on the continent include the creative industries, food technologists, 3D designers, data center workers, and care, education, and health workers. In the longer term, there is strong job growth potential in hard and soft infrastructure, green jobs, and the ICT sector. While the fourth industrial revolution may be disruptive to many occupations, it is also projected to create a wide range of new jobs in fields such as science, technology, engineering and mathematics, data analysis, and computer science and engineering. There will be strong demand for professionals who can blend digital and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills with traditional subject expertise. To build a pipeline of future skills, Africa's educators should design future-ready curricula that encourage critical thinking, creativity and emotional intelligence, as well as accelerate acquisition of digital and science, technology, engineering and mathematics skills to match the way people will work and collaborate in the fourth industrial revolution.
What do you want to be when you grow up? I stopped asking this question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Why? Because I came to one simple realization. I realized that I had no idea what kind of job I would be in 20 years. And it's not just me. Our entire society is changing. Technology is changing the economy in fundamental ways. Industries are rising and dying. We have jobs today that didn't even exist 10 years ago. All jobs and all industries are changing. According to the US Department of Labor, 65% of today's grade school kids will be in a job that hasn't been invented. What do you need to know to succeed in a job that doesn't even exist yet? And what can college prepare you to do so that you can thrive in this uncertain future? So here's the interesting thing. Although the jobs of the future are unknown, the skills you'll need to know to succeed in these jobs is known. Top employers, top graduate schools universally agree that there are 4 key skills you need to know to lead the future. These 4 key skills are critical thinking, creative thinking, effective communication, and effective interaction. In other words, being able to break down problems, being able to come up with creative solutions, being able to communicate those solutions to other people in speaking and writing, and being able to work in teams and lead teams to make these solutions a reality. 93% of employers believe that these 4 skills are more important than the major you study in college. In other words, in order to succeed in the jobs of the future, you need to know how to think, not what to think.
Five years from now, over 1/3 of skills that are considered important in today's workforce may no longer be. By 2020, the 4th industrial revolution will have brought us advanced robotics and autonomous transport, artificial intelligence and machine learning, advanced materials, biotechnology, and genomics. These developments will transform the way we live and the way we work. What is certain is that the future workforce will need to align its skill set to keep pace. HR managers and strategy officers from leading global employers rank these as the most important skills. Complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility.
They're going to need skills that they can only get by doing things. So every time they're given the opportunity to do something, they should say yes to it, even if it doesn't strike them initially as being exactly what they want to be doing.
So what are you passionate about? Does that map to what skill sets are needed? Become a subject matter expert in a skill set that will have demand, and then be capable of marketing and monetizing that.
Look for that first job to be one where you learn not the specifics, but where you learn the generalities about actually thriving in the world of work.
And then I think of my own son who's 16, and on the one hand, I think he should study science and he should understand systems, but would I tell him just to focus just on coding? I actually don't think I would, because machines are going to be very good at coding, by the way. Would I ask him to focus just on statistics? No, because I think machines are going to can calculate statistics and analytical things incredibly well. But I think it's important to understand how statistics works. Not that that's what he's going to be doing, because he needs to understand that and have a more system-level view of those things and be able to think in a computer science-like way and understand systems and engineering systems.
So actually the skills that I would recommend an 18-year-old think about may or may not fit in the traditional definition of skills is try stuff that you never thought about. And if you try things that you never thought about, you may find that you have skills and talents that you never realized you had. And being able to challenge your own assumptions about what you're good at and what you can do creates massive opportunities to put yourself on a path that'll make you happy and successful.
Technology is changing so quickly that many of the jobs today didn't even exist 10 years ago. What is more, it is predicted that 65% of children at primary school now will end up in a job that has not yet been invented. To recap, while we do not know the jobs of the future, we do know the skills that are required, and experts believe these are more important than the subjects you study after school. It is key that we can provide creative solutions and be able to communicate those solutions to other people by speaking and writing and being able to work in teams and lead teams to make these solutions a reality. In other words, in order to succeed in the jobs of the future, you need to know how to think, not what to think.